So, wow. So Tanya has been pretending to be a friend ever since we started talking. After she went back to South Carolina, she was in that very strict Christian rehab for 2 years. And then, sadly, her dad, Richard Holloway, was murdered. And her brother took her from South Carolina to Bryan, Texas, where the Richard Holloway, who was a Vietnam veteran, was given a veteran's respectful burial. And then I found out from a Facebook post by Tracy Herzog, Tanya's cousin, that Tanya's dad was murdered. The post said it, and there was a comment on that post saying, was it Richard? Now, I had misunderstood that comment because I didn't know that Tanya's father's name is Richard Holloway, the same name as his son. And normally that's one is the Richard Holloway Sr. and Jr., although in this case that's not used. The father and son share the same name, I believe, and I had gathered from that the comment is referring to the murderer, the name of the murderer, and I had reported into police. I have my correspondence. I was assuming, and that the murderer, the secret that was being kept, that the murderer was Tanya's brother. Now, that may not be far from the truth, I think, because both Tanya and her brother are doing everything, all of this going on, attacks on me, to cover up that they know. And Tanya has told me repeatedly she knows who the murderer is, and they're covering up. So there's definitely something going on. There's dark, very, very dark family secrets. There's the ones I know that are very atrocious. Sadly, and I know about this because my own family is the same. Dark secrets in my family and in the families that my friends, people I work with as caregiver. I know all of the dynamics, how the target of abuse in these dark secret families is exploited. My family is trying to get what's rightfully mine. Tanya's family, Tanya's brother, trying to get conservatorship so she can get Tanya's portion of the inheritance. I see it every family. There are exceptions. I know families very honorable and that are honest and true and kind. But I know so many that aren't, and then some are worse than others. And I'm sorry to say Tanya's family, what I've heard, exceeds what I can say, what I'm allowed to say in any company. There are things going on that are so horrible. Look, ritual abuse of kids. I cannot say it. The murder of babies ritually. Okay? Tanya has spoken about it repeatedly. So there's very, very horrible dark secrets. And Tanya always gets upset, I'm sorry for speaking the truths that need to be spoken. The family, the called the family, have spoken to others who have been involved in other, factions. It is, I believe, worldwide. It exists in various countries, and what I had heard is one story I've heard one other member who's also been on the news tell me that she was used as a child as a sexual bribe for cult members who behave themselves. You behave yourself, you get rewarded, you get sex with a little girl. And Tanya herself told me that that's how she was used as a kid. So that among many, many horrific, and then the tendency when this is spoken, that for them to condemn me because I'm speaking. This is why Tanya's brother, Richard Holloway, has set up Tanya to come here to pretend to be my friend, but then to exploit me and to spy for him, act as a human shield, and do all this stuff to get me arrested. And all the things she's been telling the closest people to me to sabotage my life. Every statement she's made. So you look at the text conversations, you look at the recordings, what she says to people in my life, people at the church, Peter, about me, what she's written in text, what she's spoken, half-truths, and speaking things in a way, twist them around to fit her agenda, which also aligns with that of Anita and Sam and Albert. They have been in communication. Tanya herself told me that Anita told her when she was in Bryan, Texas, to ask me to go there, which is in alignment with Anita's motivations to get me out of the way so then she can live in that house with her boyfriend, Nick, which she has lied about to me, saying she has no interest, but mom told me that's what she was told. And my therapist told me that's what she was told. Anita wants to live in that house, my mom's house, with her boyfriend, Nick. And so she even told Neda to tell Peter to suggest to me to put me in a facility, to put me out of the way. That is Anita's motivation, and she did speak to Tanya. Whether she spoke to, they were in communication with Tanya's brother, that would prove it. And then so what communication between Richard Holloway, Tanya's brother, with law enforcement, with Anita, with Sam, with Albert, or with Alan, the retired cop, who's communicating with who? Phone records would show. And that's what I ask. Subpoena 911 calls from this property, the one my mom lives in, the one Peter lives in, and phone records with all the people involved. I'm Zeke Matavosian. Love conquers all. Truth will prevail. In victory, justice, love and light.